One of the most significant events influencing American public opinion was the sinking of the RMS Lusitania in 1915. The ship was a British passenger liner that was torpedoed by a German submarine. Nearly 1,200 people were killed, including American civilians. The incident generated widespread outrage and intensified anti-German sentiment within the United States. Newspapers, political leaders, and public figures cited the sinking as evidence of German aggression and disregard for civilian life. The lecture notes that, according to claims presented by the speaker, the Lusitania was not solely a civilian vessel. It is asserted that the ship also carried war-related materials. This detail, while disputed in broader historical discussions, is presented in the lecture as relevant to understanding the context of the attack. Regardless of cargo details, the emotional impact of the sinking was substantial. It shifted public discourse and made continued neutrality more difficult to defend. The event became a symbol of the dangers posed by the war, even to nations attempting to remain outside it. In the years that followed, additional incidents involving unrestricted submarine warfare further strained relations between the United States and Germany. Each event added pressure to an already tense diplomatic situation. Meanwhile, financial exposure continued to grow. American banks and industries were now deeply invested in Allied governments, not only economically but structurally. The longer the war continued, the greater the potential consequences of an unfavorable outcome. The lecture presents this period as one in which military, political, emotional, and financial factors began to converge. No single event determined the outcome, but together they shaped the environment in which decisions were made. By 1917, the United States faced a complex set of circumstances. Official explanations for entering the war focused on national security, protection of American lives, and defense of international law. These reasons were presented publicly and formed the basis of the declaration of war. The lecture does not dispute these explanations. Instead, it adds economic context to the broader picture. From a financial perspective, continued neutrality carried increasing risks. An Allied defeat threatened widespread loan defaults, industrial disruption, and economic instability within the United States. Entry into the war aligned political action with economic realities that had already developed during years of trade and lending. This alignment did not require direct control by banks over government decisions. Rather, it reflected overlapping interests within a complex system. When the United States formally declared war in April of 1917, it did so in an environment shaped by military events, public opinion, diplomatic tensions, and financial exposure. The lecture emphasizes that wars rarely have a single cause. They emerge from the interaction of multiple pressures over time. The closing argument presented is not that history should be rewritten, but that it should be examined more fully. Political, military, and moral explanations remain valid components of the story. Economic forces, however, are also part of that story and deserve consideration. By acknowledging these forces, a more complete understanding of America's entry into World War I emerges. History, as presented here, is not a fixed narrative driven by one motive. It is a convergence of visible actions and underlying structures that together influence the course of events.